Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of my career mode series. Last episode we hit kind of a speed bump, mostly thanks to our goalkeeper Gerhard Trimmel, but things are going to get harder before they get easier, guys, with the next team up on our fixture list is Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium. This is definitely going to be a difficult match, especially at their home. And very, very quickly, that became abundantly clear through the actions of one giant Italian. Mario Balotelli is going to have a crazy shot from outside of the box, dips into the bottom corner to make it 1-0 in the 3rd minute. This was not going well. But we would have a chance of our own. Jesse Rodriguez bombing up the side would have a shot. It would be blocked. It would fall to Jerome Lumu, who would try an overhead bicycle kick, but Joe Hart would be more than equal to the task. They would have a chance to go 2-0 up, but new signing Wesley Sneijder would shoot wide. Again, we would come close through Jerome Lumu having a shot with his right foot. It would be blocked behind for the corner. This corner would make arguably our best chance of the game thus far. Jonathan de Guzman's outswinging corner would meet the head of Joris Okore, and Nathan Dyer would come in with a scissor kick and it would go just wide. What a chance. And Mario Balotelli would come back and make us pay. One of the best players in FIFA 13, in my opinion, diving header in to make it 2-0. What a beautiful goal from the big-ass Italian. And Man City would come very, very close to making it 3-0. Scott Sinclair, the former Swansea player, would find the head of James Milner doing his best Balotelli impression, but it would be stopped by Trimmel. And after the disaster that was our game against Wigan, I've noticed that Trimmel has stepped up his game considerably. Another good save to deny Balotelli's hat-trick right before halftime, but we are still getting manhandled. We're going to have to step it up in the second half if we have any chance of getting anything from this game. 5 minutes into the second half, and Nathan Dyer is trying to make something happen, but Joe Hart is an absolute force of nature in goal, and it is so hard to get anything past him. But on the other side of the pitch, Man City are carving my defense up for fun, and Gerhard Trimmel, I never thought I'd say this, was keeping us in this game. But even his newfound goalkeeping ability couldn't stop Man City from getting their third, and it would be the ghost of Swansea past Scott Sinclair who would make this not even a contest. But Jesse Rodriguez would have something to say about that. His 45-yard free kick only kept out by a piece of goalkeeping brilliance, Joe Hart. But that's how the game would end, 3-0. I can't say I'm too terribly disappointed or surprised with the result. I think they're in first right now and just really tearing up the EPL. Has a great squad. And with the addition of Wesley Sneijder, they're favorites for the title this season. But our next game against 12th place Southampton was a chance to get 3 points and rebound from some of our previous losses, like that one against Man City. And with players like Gaston Ramirez, Luke Shaw, Ricky Lambert, they were a good side, but they're a team that we should be getting the 3 points against. And if we play really well, I can't see us not getting 3 or 4 goals from the game. And so we begin. I decided to give players like Wayne Routledge a chance, and Michu also asked if he could play, but he couldn't put away this pretty easy chance, and it would come back to bite us. Again, it would be a defensive mistake, which would lead to the goal, this time from Ashley Williams. He would not be able to clear it from Gaston Ramirez, who would square it up, and Ricky Lambert just has the net at his mercy to just slide in to make it 1-0. There are some games where I feel like we have no backline whatsoever, and sometimes that's okay because our front line with Jesse Rodriguez, Lumu, Michu, those kind of players, if they score enough goals, you're going to win. But some games when they are not on their game, I know Jesse Rodriguez sometimes will have a game where he just cannot hit the target. Those kind of games are the ones that we are losing. But you see there, Augustine has a nice header, an almost open goal. He just goes sit under the keeper, and that's how we will go into halftime 1-1. I also feel like we go into halftime far too often even, and we have to do too much in the second half. We either go in even or behind, but Michu, who asked to play this game, just absolutely tears one into the back of the net to put us ahead 2-1. Yet again, we are unable to hold on to our 2-1 advantage, and it is Ricky Lambert getting his second, and it is almost comical how often we lose leads. And so I thought it was time to bring on the big guns, Jesse Rodriguez, the man himself, coming on to make things right. What makes Rodriguez so dangerous is just the speed that he changes direction and his dribbling ability. It's more like Ronaldo than any other player I've ever played with in the game. And you see him just cut back, making defenders look like fools, and powers that one in the back of the net to put us ahead once again single-handedly. But we all know that that lead was never going to hold. It was never going to be enough. And once again, Southampton would be level through Ricky Lambert getting his hat trick after some horrible goalkeeping from Trimmel. After the praise I gave him after that last game, he really should have scooped that up. But like the wolf in Pulp Fiction, Jesse Rodriguez was here to clean up the mess, and he would curl in a shot from an impossible angle to make it 4-3. And luckily, that's how this game would end, mostly because they didn't have any more time to score. And we would get 3 points from a game that I thought we would easily win, but it turns out it was a lot harder than it should be. And if we thought that game was hard, we were in for a rude awakening. We had Chelsea at Liberty Stadium coming up, but they put out a weakened side, I would say. Torres, Marin, Maluda, even though these are really great players on FIFA, they're not their top side. They're not Gomez, they're not Hazard, they're not Mata. So they must be thinking that they can easily get 3 points at the Liberty, and I can't disagree with them. Even though our side is getting better, I'm under no pretenses that we should be winning these types of games. And you see there Fernando Torres is doing something in FIFA that he could never do in real life, and that is actually finish to make it 1-0. Even though we don't yet have a top side, we have one of the best players in the EPL at the moment. The league's leading scorer cuts inside and has a shot. And of course, that's going to be a goal 9 times out of 10. I think that's either his 18th or his 19th goal of the season to make it 1-1. But Chelsea were quick to fire back, and real-life outcast Maluda has a fierce shot with his left foot from outside of the box, but it is saved by Trimmel. But our hopes for a draw would quickly fade when Fernando Torres would play a ball to Marco Marin, who would fire that first time past Gerhard Trimmel to make it 2-1 to Chelsea. And that is how we would go into halftime, deservedly behind Chelsea 2-1. But the best was yet to come because they were bringing on their German scoring machine with an Italian first name and a Spanish last name, Mario Gomez. But it wasn't Chelsea superstars who were tearing us to shreds. It was their outcast, their second string, and it would be Florin Maluda who would have a crazy deflected shot into the goal to make it 3-1, and our hopes were quickly fading. But they weren't through yet. It would be yet another outcast. Marco Marin would get his second to put the game completely out of reach at 4-1. But this game would bring a smile to my face because sometimes the commentary is so out of touch with what's going on the pitch, it is comical. And when Michu scores this goal, it is one of those moments. Listen.
Well, not even the goal scorer is particularly excited about this, Alan. It's academic, really.
And with Martin Tyler assuming that cartwheels don't mean excitement, that's how this game would end 4-2 Chelsea. But we would have a chance for redemption against Newcastle, who had our old player Danny Graham in their ranks. And surprisingly, there was only one event worth noting in this entire game, and that would be a goal from who else but Jesse Rodriguez, curling that into the far bottom corner to make it 1-0. And I'll take a boring 1-0 victory any day. I cherish clean sheets these days more than I do 6-5 victories. They're just so hard to come by with Trimmel in goal and our faltering back line that really a 1-0 victory is something that I'm really super excited about. And something else that I'm excited about is our scouting report. It's our very first one, and we're getting a group of young French players. And all of these players, even though some of them are looking like superstars and some of them are looking like, high 80s players, we're going to wait it out for a couple of months because they will trim it down and tell you exactly where these players are going to fall, and their ranges of what their potentials will be and what their overall already is going to go down so much that you could pick up a player that looks like they're going to be 94 overall, but once you really get down to it, they're going to turn out to only be 78, 79. So really just wait a few months. Even though some other clubs will come and scoop some of these players up, you're not going to be losing so much that you're going to regret having to wait a couple of months. But next up, we would have Liverpool, and this is a game I was kind of worried about, and that turned out to be justified when Jordan Henderson, returning to his Sunderland form, would sink a ball in from outside of the box to make it 1-0 to Liverpool, and things would just get worse from there on because Jordan Henderson, another great shot into the top corner of the net, the upper 90, and we would go into halftime behind 2-0. But the second half would be a completely different monster marked by Jesse Rodriguez just having his way with Glenn Johnson. After nicking the ball away from Johnson, he cuts inside and has a shot and has yet another goal. I believe that's 20 for the season now. He is just so dangerous from those kind of positions, cutting inside and having a shot into the side netting. But moments later, Liverpool would return to dominance when Fabio Borini would have a low hard shot into the bottom corner to make it 3-1 to Liverpool. But J-Rod said this will simply not do. I am here to save the day, and he would leave Glenn Johnson in his wake with a nice bit of trickery, fire a ball into the top corner to make it 3-2. And Rodriguez knew that his hat trick was there for the taking. He would make Glenn Johnson look like an absolute child in the box until Johnson would cynically bring him down and draw a penalty. The Spanish conquistador would then confidently step up and put it past Pepe Reina for his hat trick. In the 64th minute, it was looking like Swansea were there to win. Liverpool would then bring on their talisman, Steven Gerrard, to try to stop the bleeding, but it was not enough. Jesse Rodriguez felt that a hat trick was not enough, and after some beautiful skill gets past Glenn Johnson and curls that into the bottom corner to make it 4-3. We were ahead in the 78th minute. And that is how that game and this episode will end. Guys, I hope you really enjoyed it, and a like or a subscription is always appreciated. Have a good day. All right, bye.